Hey everyone, what's going on? Rob from Captain Rob Games here. The 5th anniversary of Dead by Daylight is upon us, and with that comes special events, cakes, which hopefully give everyone additional blood points, and of course, even more blood points. If you logged in today for the anniversary, they gave us 500,000 blood points. I'm very happy about that. That's pretty cool. So in kind of respect of this 5-year anniversary, I decided that I would celebrate by putting out my own sort of 5 items. And I've been thinking a lot recently that Dead by Daylight, while it's a great game, it can get kind of stale. Especially at the higher level, almost every single game is the same thing. It's just survivors start cranking on gens, killers try to get as much pressure as possible. It just feels kind of repetitive and the same thing over and over again. Most popular games out there have multiple game modes. Overwatch has God knows how many game modes they came out with. You look at a game like Heroes of the Storm, a lot of different game modes. Apex Legends, an arena mode. Fortnite, for example, very popular game, a lot of different game modes, even a really great creative thing. These games that are successful have multiple different types of game modes. Now, I know that I'm asking for a lot as Behavior kind of struggles to keep even their main game stable, right? But let's just go to a fantasy land way over there where all of this is possible. Today I want to talk to you about 5 game modes that I think Dead by Daylight needs to have. Let's get right into it. And again, if you like this content, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments section what minigames you would like to have added. So, for my first idea, I was thinking you could do a 1v1 random killer swap round. Basically, how this would work is you queue up, and all you need is another player to also queue up. You could queue up with a friend, theoretically. Now, how this would work is that a killer would be chosen completely at random, and they would have maybe some preset 1v1 maps. Maybe you would do Cowshed, 1v1 me, bro. You know the deal. So you would have a killer randomly picked, you would have a start zone, you'd have a 3-2-1 timer, it would start, and the person who was playing the killer would try to down the survivor as fast as possible. After that finally happens, they would then switch roles. Then the other person would try to compete against the time. This, I think, is fantastic because, one, it helps you learn all of these different types of killers in a chase. 2, it can help you learn some maps, help you increase your map knowledge of how different people play. And 3, it encourages people to play both survivor and killer in a sort of low pressure, it doesn't really matter environment. So it's going to be a lot more fun. And you can even easily add a rank system to this game depending on how you perform. Just chase is so much easier to evaluate than a full scope of a 1v4 asymmetrical game. The reason that Behavior is yet to have a proper ranking system is because of how difficult it is to actually judge a performance with all of these different variables and factors. A 1v1 chase, you could easily have a chase score. There's no generators, there's no healing, nothing. It would quite simply be you just do a chase, and then you swap sides and you keep doing it. You could have multiple rounds. You could do maybe 3 rounds with 3 different killers randomly selected each round. There's a lot of different things that you could do here, and I think this is one thing that they definitely need to consider adding, and I don't think it would be a heavy lift for the developers to do something like this. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, hide and seek or prop hunt. I can't explain to you how this has not been added to the game yet. It just seems so obvious. All that you have to do is you have to make a smaller map, and you have to prevent survivors from perks, items, and stuff like that. And in this smaller map, you don't put pallets, you don't put vaults, or anything. It's just standard, you're trying to hide. There's no looping, there's no chasing, it's hide and seek based. You could even add the prop hunt narrative where you can sort of change yourself into different objects to increase your stealthiness. Now, if the killer hits you, instead of getting injured and running away, you could go invisible for maybe 20 seconds or something like that, so that you can kind of recover, find a new place. You wouldn't be leaving scratch marks, theoretically. And if you really wanted to stop chasing, you can even make their sprint speed slower or make it so the survivors can only walk. That way, it's a truly immersive, hiding-based game. This could be a really fun thing, especially if they can actually get the props to work into it, and I really hope that they end up adding this sooner rather than later. Number 3. Alright, so for this one we have flashlight slash killer tag. Now this one is a little bit probably harder to code, and I don't ever expect to get this one, but I can dream, can't I? So the concept would be that one player would have a flashlight and they would be running around the map trying to tag another player with the flashlight. Once they tag that player would be stunned in place for maybe 5 or 10 seconds, and then they would have the flashlight. Simple game of tag. You can have different scoring events however you want to do it. Alternatively, you could also do this with built-in game mechanics. A person is playing a killer, and the moment that they successfully injure or down, whatever, a survivor, that player then kind of respawns as the killer, and the person who was the killer would then be converted into a survivor. This game mode could be a lot of fun, it would be very chaotic, and again, in these asymmetrical horror games, I think it's important to make different types of game modes where you're not always on one side, because some of these games can just go bad from the start and you just know you're screwed. Whereas in these types of games, it's a lot more fun. It's like, okay, well, if I had a bad part, I mean, it's not really that serious. I'm just going to switch sides. I mean, maybe I had a bad chase as survivor. I can go play the killer. If I play the killer decently, I'll tag someone else and be right away with it. Easy, right? Number 4, and if they're going to add anything, my god, I hope they add this one. I'm calling it Drift Kings, and basically it would be like a sort of Mario Kart for Hillbilly. There's a couple different ways I envision this. All the billies could be playing together. There could be different obstacles. Basically, you would have a map that's a very long map instead of a very wide map, and they are trying to race to the end. The entire purpose of this would be that they are using their chainsaw sprint. Now, the chainsaw sprint can be pretty hard to steer, so if you put a fairly complex map of obstacles, this could be such a fun minigame, completely different from everything else in Dead by Daylight. Gives a sort of fresh, new thing for when you maybe get frustrated from solo queues or things like that. Hop into Drift King Billy and just have a good time. Very meme-friendly, very content-friendly. It could be a great time. I hope this minigame gets added. And finally, I call this one Huntress Deathmatch. Imagine it is like a sort of Call of Duty first-person shooter. Try to knock the other players out, except you are playing as the Huntress. So everyone will be playing Huntress, running around. If you hit another Huntress with an axe or whatever, they would die or get downed or whatever, and then they would respawn somewhere else on the map. It's basically a deathmatch from Call of Duty. There's other games. This could be so much fun. There's a lot of different things you could do. You could also do it with Deathslinger. You could also do it with Trickster. Maybe some other killers that have distance things like Plague or possibly Nemesis if we're really stretching it. All kinds of funny different things we can do with that. And if we can start getting the like killer versus killer sort of theme out there, that really, really, really expands the game and the different types of things that we can do. But anyway, those are my 5 proposed game modes for Dead by Daylight for the 5th anniversary. Hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys liked this video. Again, hit the like button, the subscribe button, and in the comment section, if you have your own ideas for game modes that you think would be really cool to add to Dead by Daylight, let me know about those. Let me know about your ideas. And again, if you think that this will never happen because they can't even stabilize their own game mode, that's fine. Let me know that in the comment section as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time.